Okay, I done hit my minimum, so I'm a happy camper, and I'm down here by the lake. You know how I love to come down here by the lake. Yes, and so beautiful. Oh my gosh. I haven't had one passenger ride all day, so I think they took me off as a passenger driver. I've been just doing Uber Eats, and honestly, you know, I could still hit my minimum doing Uber Eats. And maybe because I'm telling you, like when I was just standing there, right? This lady didn't ask me can she help me? Did I need something? Nothing. She just sat up here and this happened. Let me tell you something. This has happened to me twice today. I'm standing and I'm watching these people, right? Pretty much act like I ain't there. Even when the lights are not working properly, right? And you're at these flashing red lights, right? People just, act like you're not there. Okay? Now, if I would have crashed into them, then they would be lying and having a whole nother story, right? That's why I'm gonna have to hurry up and get this dash cam. See, I get this dash cam that, shows in front and back and all around me. Yeah, my turn is my turn. And I'll show how it is. Right? Because this one intersection, like 5 cars went at once, and this was a red stop, a red light stop. I'm telling you, I think people have just really lost their minds. It's like, yeah, they lost the common sense. The lights are on, but nobody's home. Okay? So, yeah. And sometimes, on some of these trips, right? Like I had went like 27 miles one way to pick up, some paperwork, and then 27 miles another way. No, it was more than that. It was more like 30 something, 40 something miles. Anyway, it was almost 100 miles, right? And when I get to the address, finally get to the address, right? This lady says, he doesn't live here. I'm like, what? No, he doesn't live here. I'm like, listen, is this not, the address? I gave her the address. She said, yes, this is the address, but he doesn't live here. I said, yes, but this is some insurance papers that he had, delivered to this address. Is there any way that you can get it to him? And she's like, no, I cannot get it to him. I have a restraining order. And I was like, I understand, ma'am, but if it was 5-10 miles, taking it back to the insurance office, I probably would do that. But I brought it to the address that it was supposed to go to, and I drove damn near 50 miles to do it. So now there was this guy in the background, right? There was a guy in the background. I don't know who the guy was. Could have been Amir, because when I handed her the envelope, she was like, well, I guess I could give it to his mother, right? She lives right down in back of me, and I was like, okay, then do that, right? Because here's the thing, this guy, for whatever reason, he needed to get insurance, right? And it sounds like it was a situation where maybe they had got into a fight and he's no longer there. But just because he there's a restraining order, if he lived there, he's still that's his residency. I don't know what she was thinking. So yeah, just when I was thinking, oh, okay, I shouldn't have no problems, right? There was problems with the people at the restaurant, the workers, pretending like I was invisible. These people driving their cars, pretending like I'm invisible. And I'm like, you know what? I'm still going to be a defensive driver. I just don't want my shit all torn up. They act like they don't care if their shit gets torn up. But, until it happens, because when it happens, yeah, maybe you're like, relieved that you don't have to have, those payments anymore. Because, damn, from what I understand, some of these people are paying hundreds, right? $1,000 a month. And $200 and $300 a month on insurance. And I'm like, wow, $1,200 just on a car and insurance is a lot of money in my mind. So, granted, that's it's understandable that you would be upset, right? But you have to take your anger out on the right people. Taking it out on the wrong people ain't gonna get you nothing or nowhere, and probably some karma, because you're taking it out on innocent people. Okay? So, I am headed back home. It's about 3:15. It's a good time for me to be off of the streets, because the school zones are getting ready to start back up again. I was out in the country when the school zones was going on this morning. School zones and traffic is really bad in the afternoon. So yeah, I didn't even try to go to the airport, because like I said, there's no way I didn't get no offers to pick up a passenger. And I put on there, I didn't want nobody that doesn't have at least a ranking of 4.5. Is that why I can't pick up no passengers? Because some of them aren't ranked. And others, I don't know how that works, but all I know is I'm tired now. I've been up since about 3:30 this morning. And so now it's 3:30 in the afternoon. Oh. And actually, I think doing Uber Eats, I use up less gasoline. I mean, doing Uber Eats, I use up less gasoline than, if I was driving people. Plus, I really didn't like them adding on, rides and stuff, because I wasn't really watching the screen. Sometimes, if there's already somebody in the vehicle, I might have to watch. And here's another thing, right? When I come close to my destination or something like that, that's when they be throwing these orders out. Most of the time, orders you don't even want, right? You get ready, or if you have to make a decision or a turn or something like that, it's coming up. That Uber starts sending you all of these orders, and it interferes with your screen, just like when I was delivering those flowers, right? I'm sitting up here trying to, have her sign it, and Uber orders was coming through, telephone calls was coming through. I was like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So you can still have problems even with Uber Eats.